Okay, let's see here. Good. Yep, perfect. Good morning, everyone who is viewing this. I'm just starting. If you were here yesterday, good morning again. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi,
This is Brian.
hi, Brian. I'm gonna put the chat
Hi.
up in the screen. I'm gonna put the chat up, a few
Okay.
housekeeping rules, just a moment. Saying good morning. Welcome to the second meet and greet for ADOS Kansas City. Please if possible. Okay. Okay. All right. So you are the first. We're gonna give everybody a few minutes to shuffle in. If you
Okay.
are more interested today than yesterday. We'll just wait another minute before we get started. So let me.
I'm going to be in and out of mute for the next couple minutes as I
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
complete some morning chores here.
That's fine. Well, I am just going to get started here. And I am recording. Yesterday, I had a little bit of a snafu because I thought I was recording the meeting, but I was not. Today, I am definitely recording. I can see the little recording button in the left hand, so we are good to go. Again, I will say good morning. Today will be an intro to ADOS Kansas City. I'll be sharing some information as to what this will be about, ADOS Kansas City, what that'll be about, and how we can connect with each other, some goals we'll have for the group, and how we can advocate for reparations, and how we can spread our outreach in the city, as well as connecting with other chapters around the U.S. Well, I will just get started. I have my notes here because I will forget some things that I wanted to say. So if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I'm reading off of my notes. So forgive me for that. Okay, so if you are here, it's because you're interested in ADOS Kansas City, and for that, I am so glad. I've been following ADOS for about 2 years or so, and about a year in, I was kind of wondering if there were any other ADOS or people who associate with ADOS and the movement in the city, and I hadn't found many right away, so I kind of waited a little while, and finally just got to the point where I'm like, okay, there should be an ADOS group in Kansas City, and because there wasn't one, or at least I wasn't aware of there being one, I said, okay, let me fill a need where I see a need. So here we are. And what this group is it's a resource of information for the current state of Black Americans. It'll specifically be for Black Americans in the city, but it's not limited to that, or the information that I hope others, as they associate with us, won't be limited in sharing. But it is primarily for Kansas City. We will um, we will use this as a bridge to connect with um, people who live here in the city, as far as what life is like here, as far as the connection with local politics and local issues, and how they kind of are connected to ADOS and reparations. We will also collaborate. I said we'll also collaborate with other chapters around the U.S. There are several projects that are already underway, which we will get to later on. But for now, just know that eventually we'll start connecting with other local chapters in kind of on a broader sense. Uh, and lastly, of course, this will be a way for us to advocate for reparations. So how we will do that is grassroots, on the ground, as we grow, as more Black Americans and allies in Kansas City get on board with the ADOS movement, so to speak. We will start increasing our outreach, uh, local events around town that where we can set up an info booth. We'll do that. We may join in on protests depending on the context of the protest. I know there are a lot of issues that affect Black Americans that ADOS in itself could certainly stand in solidarity with. So eventually we will do that as well. And we will also connect through social media engagement. I know a lot of you were introduced to me, Kiera, and ADOS itself through Twitter or YouTube. So, of course, if you're able to share information that way, that is the go. Also, some of us are really good writers and we blog. Some of us are amazing content creators in other ways. And you may want to start a YouTube channel, or you may be affiliated with a news network where you can write articles about the ADOS movement and reparations advocacy. So you could engage that way. Our meetings will be weekly. You're not obligated to go, but if you, because for now in these COVID times, we will be meeting through Zoom, and I'll record the meeting so you can always come back to the replay later. The replays will be available for 30 days out after that to save space on my cloud drive. I'm gonna delete them. So you'll have a full 30 days to catch the replays. Or you can, as I would love to see your faces, I hope that you'll be able to make our Saturday meetings. They'll be at the same time, every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Eventually, what I hope is that, as I said, eventually we'll get out to other local events, but really I like for us to also connect in person at some point, just for, again, the times we're in. I'm not sure when that will be or how that will be, but I think just for the sake of camaraderie, it would be nice for us to just like get together, hang out, just kind of like, blow off some some steam and just, connect them on that way. Okay, so now we are at the how. And the first step in the how, or how we're going to advocate for reparations in the city, is education. We have to learn what ADOS is about and what reparation is, even to be able to talk about it with others. There are several people who can be followed on social media who have already put in years of groundwork as far as education and reparations. Those people, and I will add them to the chat, those people are Breaking Brown, Yvette Carnell at Breaking Brown. She's on Twitter, but her videos are on YouTube. Another is Antonio Moore with Tone Talks. He's on YouTube as well. A group of men who really do a great job of kind of breaking down the steps of reparations advocacy are Be the Power. They are on YouTube, and you can find them individually on Twitter. I will add their names to the chat as well. And someone else is Sandy Darity. And that kind of leads us into book club. So Sandy Darity on Twitter, but in real life, his name is William Darity, and he and his partner, Kirsten Mullen, wrote a book about reparations called From Here to Equality. So if you are wanting to become associated with ADOS KC, the group, our first means of educating ourselves about reparations will be reading this book, From Here to Equality. The book is available, like I checked out an issue from the KC library. It's there. The last I checked, it was I think it was like backlogged on Amazon. So you might want to check there or anywhere else they sell books. But it's an amazing tool. The book is an amazing tool. It's kind of like an all-encompassing way to really get a grasp on what ADOS is about, why we're so passionate about reparations. It really breaks down the history of Black Americans in America, all through the present of where we are now. So that book club is starting now. We will, our Saturday meeting on September 26th will be that book club discussion after we've all had a month to read it, and we will all gather on that Saturday to discuss. And I'll add that info to the chat as well. So the second part of education is following our local publications, newspapers, news media outlets, as well as our local, our mayor and city council members, because a lot of the issues that are reported in the news and a lot of what our local government talks about affects Black Americans, specifically ADOS Americans. So in learning about reparations, we definitely want, or that is the main goal, is to connect what's happening in our city with a reparations agenda. Which is kind of what I just said. So step 2 is pushing for reparations, like I just said. And that means that we have to be involved in politics. I know some of us are kind of shy away from it. You know, we don't want to get involved. We kind of don't want to see it, but it's out there. Reparations is a political agenda. If you want to be involved with ADOS KC, you have to stay up on your politics. So, and you can do that in all the ways I just mentioned, like following city government, keeping up with the news. So that's not hard. Step 4 is all ADOS roads lead to reparations. And what that means is in all of your advocacy, in everything that you share as far as when you're sharing ADOS information, it all ties in to reparations. For example, in these COVID times, a lot of us are worried about losing our jobs, losing income. And in a way, if you were going to talk about that with someone else, or if you're going to share that information with somebody else, a way you could tie that into reparations is saying that, you know, Black Americans, ADOS are disproportionately affected by those issues in, I think, just about every city in the US. We are the ones who have been hardest hit by COVID. And that is how America is designed. We are a bottom caste, and reparations would be a redress for that. It would be an answer to that. So just whatever you share, it's kind of like full circle, tie it all in. And when you are sharing with family and friends and online, be patient with people, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And a lot of people are just now starting to come around to reparations. We are in a weird time right now. It's an election year, and we're in a pandemic. So I think those two things coupled together are really causing people to kind of wake up in a sense to what's happening with Black Americans, but they don't necessarily or they're not necessarily on board with reparations just yet. But just, you know, stay with it, stay the course. Um, and the last point I'll make or about is be specific. So in reparations, the point that it is specifically for ADOS has to be made clear, but that is not a means to alienating allies who would be willing to also join our fight for reparations. But that does have to be made clear, and when they join, that it is specifically for us. We are not burning bridges, but we are making the rules clear when allies cross. So with all that, so we'll recap, and then I will end. So ADOS Kansas City is on Twitter. There is a Facebook page, but it kind of just sits there. I'm more active on Twitter. But other ways that anyone could connect with ADOS on social media is through Instagram, through YouTube. If you want to make a blog, if you're a writer or you're a news reporter, basically however you want to advocate is great. I know yesterday I was talking to people and they're sharing everything they can about reparations in private chats with their friends and family, and all of it is amazing. All of it is necessary. All of it is appreciated. All of it is what we need to grow the movement, to keep the message going. So with that, I will end my little spiel. So, closing my notes. So that is it. We have a long way to go, but we are steadily getting there. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this today. And I hope that more of you will join. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Kara. Are you taking questions or?
Yes.
Okay,
If
great.
you have any questions, let me know. Or if you have anything to add, yes.
Okay, great. Can I ask a question right
Yeah. Yes.
now? Okay.
Yes.
So this would be ADOS Kansas City. Does that sort of implies that there is a national ADOS organization that this would be a local chapter of, or is it more of a loosely affiliated with local groups that have the same ideas?
It's loosely affiliated. There's no national like BLM has a global network. There's nothing like that yet. There
Right.
are individual chapters in cities, and I'll say just for the context of clarity, this is not an official chapter yet. It's just starting. Right now, what it is a resource of information, because
Gotcha.
there this being transparent, there's still more that could be added. There's still a lot of space for us to grow in as far as reparations, the reparations movement in Kansas City. So until that happens, I'll just say we're just a local group. Nothing official, nothing formal. We're just a group of people who are like-minded in our reparations, and we live in Kansas City, so we all just gather and meet together.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, did you have any other questions?
Not me personally.
Yes.
I mean, not exactly. Not at this point. I really like the idea of reading from here to equality and having a chat about it. I mean, I have questions about everything all the time, but I want to keep it more focused and not just go on a stream of consciousness binge of questions. So
No,
it sounds great, though. I mean,
yes, and actually, as we begin reading the book, I'll kind of check in every week just to, where we can kind of share what we've read in the book so far, and possibly like have like smaller discussions throughout, like, oh, I read this week, and oh, I thought this was interesting information. And then on September 30th, or sorry, September 26th, which I believe is the last Saturday in September. Yes. Then we'll have the overall group discussion about the whole book. But we'll still like check in periodically throughout the rest of the month before leading up to that.
cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, and I'm going to end the meeting now. Like I said, I really appreciate everyone who's watching today, and I will add in the chat how you can connect with us on Twitter, and some of the notes from today's meeting. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're welcome.